Hey everybody, we are live and ready to go. Welcome back to Cooking with Chef Ignacio. He is going to be making a pasta from scratch today and a little bit of Primavera for us. And without further ado, Iggy, the floor is yours.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Chef Ygnacio. Welcome back today. Thank you, Annie, for that great intro. Today, we're going to be cooking pasta primavera, and as well as making fresh pasta from scratch. Pasta primavera is a really great springtime pasta to have. It's a little bit hearty, but it's also really nice and fresh. We have some fresh asparagus and some nice fresh snap peas that we're going to be using. That gives you kind of the fresh lightness. All in total, we're going to be using some onions. These are green onions, and this is a normal yellow onion. Ideally, we'd want 3 spring onions, but I could not find one at all. So we're going to settle with these. We're going to have 3 cloves of garlic, all nice and sliced up like this. We have about a tablespoon and a teaspoon of lemon zest. And we're also going to juice 1 lemon. A 1 cup of creme fraiche. We have about 4 ounces of snap peas. And you can use however many snap peas you want. It doesn't have to be this much. I'm not even going to use this much. I just got a little carried away today, chopping them up. We're going to want about half a bundle of asparagus. I'm going to show you guys how to cut and clean it to make it look all nice and pretty like this. And we're going to use about 2 or 3 cremini mushrooms. Again, you can use as many as you want. If you don't like mushrooms, you just leave them out, no big deal. We also have some nice chives. And for our pasta, we're going to be using about 3 cups of flour, just using all-purpose 000 flour. And we're going to have 3 room temperature eggs. Ideally, you want large eggs. And the rule of thumb for making pasta is you want to have about a 1 cup for every egg of 1 cup of flour per egg. And that's just kind of like the loose general. We're going to just do it by feel, really. Also, with our tools that we're going to be using today, we have a fork, a dowel. You can use any rolling pin, or if you don't have a rolling pin, a bottle of wine works absolutely perfectly. We have some bench scrapers to help get the dough out, a peeler. We have some tongs, a juicer. Again, if you don't have this, you can just squeeze the lemon. We have a zester to get that nice lemon zest, a spoon because, you need spoons for everything. They're the best. We have a strainer for the pasta. And over here we have an ice bath. There is ice cubes and water. This is what we're going to use to shock the asparagus when it's done. And over on this side, we have a little bowl, a little pot of oil. This is about a half cup of oil. We're going to be frying our mushrooms in here, and then using the oil later for cooking the vegetables. We have, we're going to be using less oil than we were before. We have a pan for making, putting everything together, and a pot of water, which I'm going to turn on high right now to get it boiling. One of the common things or myths about water for your pasta is you want to have like a big pot with a lot of water. When you throw the pasta in, it boils really fast and it doesn't drop the temperature. But it's been shown that using a smaller pot with kind of just about the right amount of water for the pasta is a lot better, because when you're cooking the pasta, it's gonna remove all the starches, and that starch is what you want to keep your sauce in with your to mix in. And the starch is gonna help the sauce bind to your pasta noodles a lot better than if you just had a big pot and you took like a cup or so, like a couple of teaspoons. So the starch concentration is what we really want with that. So I have a medium pot with a just nice fair amount of water, and that's going to be absolutely perfect for what we're doing. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go wash my hands because I don't want to get the coronavirus. Remember, 20 seconds, saying the alphabet or singing happy birthday. It's really good. Make sure you get between your fingers. All right. So, to get started with our pasta, we need to get our flour. I'm going to take 3 cups, give or take. Just dump it right onto our cutting board. Now you want to use a wood cutting board ideally, because that'll have pores and it makes it a lot better to work the dough with. But if not, like a plastic cutting board or something you have, anything really will work. All right, so we have our mound right here. And in the middle, we're going to make a little crater, little cradle for our eggs. Make it nice and spaced out. All right, looking good. So our eggs at room temperature, we're going to crack them on the side like this. You never want to crack an egg on the edge of something, because that can cause the yolk to break, or it can get shells broken into the egg. So you want to just crack it on a flat surface like this and split it apart. Boom. Excellent. All right, we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt to the pasta, to the eggs. We're going to break these yolks. We're going to start whisking it up. Like you're making scrambled eggs for breakfast or an omelet, we're just going to start whisking it and slowly add in the flour around. So we're going to whisk this until it starts getting kind of not whiskable with a fork. You'll see what I mean in a second. It'll start to thicken up. And that's where we're going to ditch the fork and go with our bare hands. No. We're almost there. Losing control. All right, see how it's getting kind of thick like this? It's getting harder to whisk. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for when we whisk with our fork. Ditch that. Now we're going to start working in the flour with our hands and our bench scraper. Now you don't need to use all the flour on the cutting board. I learned that the first 3 times I did pasta. It always came out way too thick. If it comes out a little thick, you can always add water to it. But for right now, I'm just going to gently mix all of this pasta in. So you can see now it's starting to get a little more firm. Kind of getting that shag look. And that's what we're going for with this. We're looking for a shag. So it's going to look kind of like a shag carpet. That'll be nice and firm. But you can see here how it's kind of breaking up. But in here it's still sticky, so we need to keep mixing it in. This should only take you a few minutes. Because if you mix it in too much, you're going to start building up the gluten in the dough. And then it's going to become a lot harder to roll out. And it'll be a stiffer pasta. Which sometimes is good if you want to have like your tortellinis or whatnot. Nice little thicker for ravioli. All right. So now we have our egg dough. It's not sticky anymore. So it's perfect. Just going to work it a little bit more. If it's still sticky, add some more dough. And I'm going to just roll it in like this. Where it's like a pinch and a tuck. Some more flour. We're going to make a nice little ball out of it. All right. Give a nice little thing of pasta. What we're going to do now is we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes. And the ideal way to do it is to get some plastic wrap. Put it in there like that. Just give it a nice little wrap in plastic. All right, so you leave that out Just let that sit for 30 minutes. But we already did some. It's all nice and ready. I'm going to go ahead and scrape away all of this extra flour that we don't need. All right. Let's unwrap this bad boy. And make like Autobots and roll out. Get some nice flour on your cutting board. Spread it around. Make sure you get everything all nice and floured up so that way it doesn't stick to the cutting board. If it does, you can just lift it up a little bit, add some more. We're gonna add some flour to our dowel. And just start rolling. So how you want to roll this out is like you'd roll out any other type of dough or flour, like kind of any other bread. We're gonna roll it out, make it nice and thin. And then we're gonna fold it into thirds, make a little book. Fold, fold, boom. So if you're using a pasta machine where you have a little hand crank, it's the same idea. You want to put it in on the widest setting, start cranking it. It'll fold the dough into a little thing. Put it back in, just roll it in, make a book, lower it by like 2 degrees, and then just keep lowering it until it's nice and thin, and really to the thickness you want. We're gonna make our noodles nice and thin, like a little paper. All right. Fold, fold, turn. You're gonna do this about 3 or 4 times. Before we make the big pasta dough. Now, if today was leg day at the gym, that's good because this would be your arm workout for the day. And I really enjoy doing this with pasta, doing it by hand. It's kind of therapeutic because you can only go as fast as the pasta lets you, especially if you have like a machine with the like a KitchenAid. You only go as fast as it lets you go, so it's really calming. All right, so now we folded it 4 times. You see now it's becoming nice and smooth. And this is where we're gonna do our big, nice flat piece. Here we are. All right. So a dowel is nice to have because it's nice and flat around. You get that even spreading of the weight. If you have a French style rolling pin where it's kind of curved on the bottom, that's really nice to have because towards the end, if you have any spots you want to thin out, you can use that to get those specific areas. All right. And the good thing is if you're doing this with a wine bottle, you get a little bit of extra weight added to it. So it kind of helps rolling it out. There we go. This way is working out really nice for me. So we're going to keep doing it lengthwise. Down. Try to roll this out a little bit more. My dough's sticking a little bit. I'm going to flick some flour underneath. Just keep going at it. All right. There we go. This is looking nice and even. Getting it all good and thin. It's about time to start cutting our pasta. No, don't stick. All right. So there's a couple different things you can do with the pasta. You can do like little circles. Get it out like that. You can fold it. Do a little twist. Take little tortellinis. Beautiful. You can also do, you make squares out of it. And that's how you make a ravioli, or you do circles, whichever way. You want to do a little bit of a thinner dough for that. Make a ravioli, but it's all coming down from the same pasta like this. You do it with eggs. What we're going to do is just a nice little simple style. I'm just going to simply roll it up. I'm going to get a little flour on my knife. We're just going to cut nice little strips. You want to do a sawing motion with the knife. You don't want to hit the pasta too hard, and it'll make it all thick. And if you're seeing that when you're doing this, your pasta's sticking together, unroll it, throw some more flour into it, and then roll it back up. But generally, this is what you're going to do. For the whole roll. Or if your knife is wicked sharp, it'll just cut through everything. Like it's nobody's business. All right. And if they come out looking a little funky, don't worry, it's just rustic. Rustic is the way. All right, so we have our noodles, little strips. We're going to put some flour onto these and just toss them and unfurl them. Add some more flour. That flour is going to allow them to not stick together. Oh no. Beautiful. One more. All right. A couple more. Pinch more flour, and we're good. So you get all these noodles ready to go. So these you can lay them out. Oops, sorry. This will lay out our noodles nice and straight. Mine are a little bundled up. And boom. You separate your servings like that. So this one that we made, for this one specifically, was 2 eggs and 2 cups of flour. And it's going to come out to about 2 servings of pasta. All right. Beautiful. So we're going to let this hang out for a second. Now I'm going to wash my hands again. Get all this flour off. So we're gonna go over and start working with the vegetables. All right, so over here, we're gonna look at our oil. This is gonna be on about medium-high heat. If it gets a little too high, then it'll start burning the onions before they truly crisp up. And if it's too low, they're not gonna crisp up at all. And my oil, my water for the pasta is kind of reduced a little too much, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Perfect. And with salt, because we're gonna also be poaching asparagus in that water, we're gonna add a pretty liberal amount of salt. So I'm gonna add about that much salt. Another one for kicks. That'll make it nice and salty. It'll flavor the pasta noodles as well as the asparagus without having to just add it on afterwards. That's the whole like seasoning and layers that we're going for. All right. So take our onion. We'll get this fried up. So we'll take the green onion here, cut off the bottom, and just slice that nice and thin. Beautiful. And with this onion, I'm going to do the same thing, just so I can get some nice larger rings. Super thin. Excellent. We'll cut up this green onion too. All right. So we're going to take these little guys over to the pot of oil. Break it up as we go along. Or you can toss them in. You can turn up the heat just a little bit. And I like to use a fork to kind of stir it up and mix it around. And also when they're done, you just get them up without pulling out too much oil. All right, so you can see how they're nice light bubbles. It's not too aggressive. They're not immediately burning when you throw them in. A good way to tell when something's done frying is it's going to have no more water in it, so all those bubbles are going to stop, or there's going to be a significantly less amount. So we're going to let that go for about 3 to 4 minutes. While that's going, we're going to come over here and zest our lemon. So this is a fresh Meyer lemon. I actually got it from my friend Pam's garden. She has a lot of cool vegetables, tomatoes, lemons, limes. And I love using her lemons to make limoncello. So every winter, like early spring, I always try to make it an effort to go back to Walnut Creek and say, hey Pam, can I raid your garden? Get some lemons, please. Oh, God, it's so good. I absolutely love lemon. And these Meyer lemons are just the best. And look how huge these are. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I think I could just get a basket of her lemons as a gift. I'd be totally fine. All right. Beautiful. We're going to scrape that off. We're going to check on our onions. See if those are done yet. They're working. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit more because they're not crisping up as much as I would like them to. And if they take too long in the oil, they're just going to soak up the oil and get all yucky. Not what we want. All right. So we have our lemon zest, garlic. So with our garlic, we're going to have one thing that's kind of common in like really fancy French cooking is that there is a little seed you can see here when the camera likes to focus. Oh, there is a little groove missing from it. That little groove is like the seed, so when if you see it sprouting, you can come up right here. Now, if you take that out, it's going to reduce the bitterness of the garlic, as well as kind of get rid of a lot of that spiciness you get. So when garlic's like killer spicy, you just take that out, get your knife, boop, done. Chop that up. I like to have a little thicker pieces of garlic. I really enjoy having it, the texture of it and having it in my mouth. It's great. The garlic's there. We're going to cut up our green onion stems. Nice and thin. All right. We're going to add this to the garlic because we're going to put these in about the same exact time. Green onions and garlic both don't really take that long to cook. So if they're in there for too long, they will burn, and that is not what we're going for. All right. Get this out of the way. Perfect. I wish you would cook faster. All right, those are going to be fine. We're going to leave those. All right, so we have some snap peas. These are my absolute favorite thing to have in the spring because they're just so fresh and crisp. And the way you want to prepare these is snap off both ends and then try to peel it down while you're doing it. Because sometimes they have this string. You don't want that. It's all stringy and gross. It's like chewing on floss. Disgusting. Got that one already? Boom. So with these, a couple ways you can do it. You can just leave them whole, throw them in as a whole piece. That's nice. They're nice and crunchy. They're so good. Another way to do it is cut them lengthwise like that. And that displays all the seeds in the middle. It looks nice and pretty. And they hold in pretty well as well. Yeah, that's all nice. And how I like to do it, just because I like having different shapes in my food, is I cut it on the bias like that, kind of severely, so you get those nice pointed edges. You still see the seeds in the middle, but you get that nice kind of different shape, different texture. It's all about keeping the food interesting. If you ever want to experiment with some like different little shapes, different things, I mean, you never go wrong. That's the beauty of cooking. It's all an experiment. All right. Our onions are almost done. The green onions are cooked. I'm going to try to fish these out. Put them onto a little piece of paper towel so the oil can dry off. Beautiful. So we're going to use this as the garnish for our pasta, along with the chives and some of that lemon zest that we got. If I can get rid of this out. No, don't go back in. Perfect. It's going to take about another minute or two. We're just about there. All right. So, we have our lemons, green onions, snap peas, mushrooms. With these, I'm just going to do a basic slice down the top. You can dice these, cut them in different shapes if you want. However you want to do them. You could like break the stem off and do a little dice like that. They're little cubes as well as the base. We're gonna have all these interesting shapes in this. I'm excited. We'll do half of one more. Perfect. All right, we got our mushrooms. Get those in the cup. Boom, perfect. I'm gonna pull those onions out because I know they're done. Fact. All right. onions are out. I'm going to keep the oil over here on the side. I'm not going to get rid of it because we're going to use it to cook our vegetables later. Right now, I'm going to get some salt. Get that nice and flavorful. Turn the heat off and move my pan over here. Perfect. All right, so for the asparagus. When it's early in the season like this, typically asparagus is kind of like stringy and not too done. One way you can test it is by bending it where it breaks. That's our parts are really fibrous, just stringy, not good. And this part will still be a little bit stringy down here. So what we do at Zeppelin is we get a little peeler and just gently peel off the green until we get to that white meaty part. So this is going to have all that tenderness and all the flavors. It's going to soak up everything. It's going to be the best part of the entire asparagus. You can do one more. Boom. Peel that off. Get all those fibers out. Again, it's kind of like the peas. It's kind of chewy, gets stringy. It's weird to chew on. It's weird to have in the mouth. So it's always nice to shave that off, especially with early season asparagus. And for comparison, I'm going to leave this one normal. I'm just going to cut off this base. Get rid of that. We're going to blanch all of these in that water we have going. All right. Next is our chives. Lay these out all nice and pretty like. We're going to cut these. Get rid of that. Maybe about like a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch. Just little tubes. This will be our garnish for the dish. All right. I'm going to take these with a little bowl, like that much in there. Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of our lemon zest in with this, as well as our onions later. I don't want them to get too soggy while we're waiting. All right. Their space nice and cleaned up. Half of cooking is cleaning and having a clean workplace. Perfect. So over the asparagus, we're going to get all of this, toss it into our boiling water back here. And that's going to cook for about a minute, minute and a half. Really, it's just going to be until it's soft and it kind of wobbles, it loosens up. And that's when we can tell that it's good. If it's still stiff and it's not really shaking a lot, then it's not going to be funny. It's still going to be crunchy. All right. So pasta primavera is kind of a springtime dish. It has a lot of like garden vegetables, a lot of greens, and the basic of the sauce is like acid, garlic, and fat. Like a classic primavera is going to have like lemon juice. You can have your pan with your vegetables with a little bit of oil, saute those. Put some white wine in there, maybe like 1/2 cup of white wine to kind of deglaze it. Cook that for a bit, and then you're gonna add in like a couple tablespoons of butter, as well as some lemon zest and garlic. And you're gonna cook all that together to make a nice kind of thick sauce. The whole point of it's like a nice springtime dish. It's really light, really tasty, and it's perfect for coming out of the winter where you have all these hearty things like bolognese and whatnot. You have a nice light pasta, which is why I wanted to do it for this course, because I want to have something nice and light and garni with all the spring coming out. So you can see here, a lot of wiggles. We're going to keep that in there until it gets nice and loosey-goosey. That one's almost there. We're going to keep it in for one more minute. is done. Eggs out. Let's get our pasta ready. Actually, our onions and everything. So we're gonna get our pan. We get our vegetables going before. We get our pan ready. Perfect. Onions, a nice onion oil. Add that into the pan. That's a little much. We just want enough to coat the bottom. We don't want it too heavy with the oil. Perfect. And our asparagus is also finished. Into the ice bath it goes to shock it and keep it from cooking more. We're gonna add a little bit more water to the pot. All right. You're gonna take, see how it's like wobbly and loose? That's what we're looking for. You're gonna take both of these pieces. See how that's nice? You can try it. That still has its stringiness in there. So it's not gonna be a nice easy break. As opposed to the top, it's nice and soft. So that's why you always want to shave off a little bit of the bottom. It gives you that nice tenderness. This is going to have all the flavor in it. Excellent. Absolutely. Excellent. I think it's my favorite part of the meal so far. All right. We're going to get our mushrooms first into the pan. And our pasta water is also nice and hot. We're going to throw in our noodles. Everything should be done at just about the same time. So, noodles are in. When you're cooking pasta noodles, the myth is also that when you have you add olive oil to it, and that'll make the noodles not stick to each other. But that is wrong. What actually helps most is if you stir it while it's cooking. And that is incredibly hot. I'm going to get a long spoon. So in the first minute it's in the water, make sure you stir it up. If it's dry pasta, fresh pasta, it doesn't matter. You want to stir it up, and that breaks off all of the starches on the noodles. And the starch is what makes it really sticky. So like if you're cooking rice, you don't rinse it off first, so notice how it gets all sticky and all those starches really filled up. I remember with pasta, starch is what we want in the water. You can see how the water is turning all cloudy. That means we're breaking up the starch, and our noodles won't stick as much, which is a fantastic. All right, we're gonna let that go. We're gonna take the asparagus out from the water. You just cut these into about 1/4-inch pieces. You can also do something like cut them in half, and on a bias, something like that to make it interesting. Shape. All right. Need to go light the pilots again. All right. Crisis is a Got it. So fresh pasta is going to take about 90 seconds, 2 minutes to cook, opposed to dry pasta, which takes a little bit longer. Nice and hot. Asparagus is cut up. First, we're gonna get our mushrooms going in this. And when we're cooking it, we're not gonna add the salt and pepper like mushrooms right away. It causes the moisture in the mushrooms to come out a lot quicker. Do that nice little stir so it doesn't boil over again. All right. Oil is nice and hot. All right. It's nice and hot. Toss in our mushrooms. Ow. Very hot. All right. You want a smoking hot pan because you want to get a nice sear on these mushrooms. Beautiful. All right, while that's going, we're going to see how our pasta is. Mmm. Incredible. Get all that pasta out. There we go. So fire's all right. Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna look at these mushrooms. Here we're gonna we're looking for. That means we're getting a nice color. It's gonna stay firm. We have the sauce. Beautiful. You can put this, keep it like this for about 20 more seconds. All right. A nice little toss. It's just going to take a little bit longer to reheat because we had it cold. And add that back. Where's my garlic? Starts with the green onions. Got a nice little toss. Next, we're going to add in the creme fraiche. Actually, we're going to add in the garlic. We want the garlic to get nice and toasted. Oil. We got those nice and cooking. Mmm, fantastic. Smells absolutely amazing. All right, next we're going to add in the creme fraiche. Add in a cup of creme fraiche, as well as a little bit of the pasta water. Turn that off real quick so I don't die. Beautiful. We're also going to toss in some of the snap peas. So we added in the pasta water right now to help keep the creme fraiche from burning. Keeping that extra moisture in there helps it from evaporating and becoming too thick and dried out. It also adds the starch in that from the pasta that we really want. That's the whole point of adding the pasta water, is to get that starch. The starch really helps bind the sauce to the noodles. So if you're ever cooking at home, you can either just pull a cup out right when you're making it at the end, or you can strain your pasta and put your strainer over the pot that you're cooking it in right away. So like strain it, pot, all that extra water goes into the sauce, and that makes your sauce 10 times better than if you didn't have it. All right. Next, we're going to add in a teaspoon of lemon zest, as well as our juice from the Meyer lemon. Put it all nice in there. That citrus, that acidity is going to give it a nice, fresh springtime feel. Fantastic. All right. I'm going to give it a quick taste. Needs a little salt. Boop-a-boo. Dash of salt. So with this dish, you kind of want to keep it nice and white and clear. You can add pepper. I would recommend white pepper. Right now, I'm not too picky about the presentation of it because I'm not making it for the restaurant. But if you're going to make this for a guest, you want it to look the absolute best, I would recommend getting white pepper. That way it doesn't give it a kind of a freckled look. You can see in here, you see all that little bit of pepper in there, it's all freckled. All right, give it a taste. Oh my God. That's killer. Let's take our pasta. We'll toss, add that back into there. Toss to make sure it gets all nice and reincorporated. If you don't have enough sauce in there, you can always add a little bit more of the pasta water or a little bit more creme fraiche. Again, if you don't have creme fraiche, a good classic way to do it with the butter and the white wine always works. So after you saute the vegetables, or when I added the creme fraiche, that's when you'd want to add the white wine to deglaze the pan. And once that reduces down, you cook out the alcohol. You would add in the butter and the garlic. I have made one royal mess. It's okay, because we're cooking. Get everything out of the way. Hot pad down. Get our garnishes ready. Beautiful. See that sauce on the bottom? I'm excited for this. All right, so get your tongs. Get your spoon. You're going to start twirling it in the spoon. Grab some more. If you have like spaghetti or bucatini or linguine, this is like the way to do it. Or if you're super fancy, you have long tongs like this. Some of the fancy restaurants that go in and just twirl it like that. And that's when you see those nice long like spaghetti noodles or like the log. It's like, oh wow, beautiful. Then again, I'm just trying to have some amazing pasta. I'm gonna just swirl it up in the corner, put it over. Now let's start getting all those amazing vegetables that we cooked. Get those on top. All that asparagus. Definitely the mushrooms and the snap peas. Boom. Get some of that sauce on there as well. All right. Next, we're going to garnish with the lemon zest mixed with the chives. nice there on top. And our fried onions from earlier. Boom. Excellent. So that is our pasta primavera, as well as our fresh homemade pasta dough. All right, guys. Time to dig in. Let's try this out. Should be nice and light. That's really good. That's fantastic. Oh, man. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in this week. If you have any comments or any suggestions for future videos you want to see, just drop a comment down below, and we'll be sure to get right back to you on that. Once again, thank you to Urban Village. You guys have been fantastic. Don't forget to go give them a like, and absolutely love what they're doing. Yeah, thank you guys for joining in. I'll see you all next week, and see you later. Bye. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Thanks so much, Iggy. I don't know about you guys, but if you haven't eaten already, I'm starving and I'm going to go make myself some pasta right now with a bit of that inspiration from our chef. Like you said, he'll be back next week on Tuesday. For the rest of April, he'll be with us, along with our garden workshop tomorrow. And we have some more fun, exciting events. So just stay tuned on our Facebook page. Let us know what you think. Our Facebook is facebook.com/theurbanvillage. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.